My love of wildlife started basically as a kid. I was fortunate enough to live on the outskirts of a small town. The woods and the fields were my playground. In math lessons, rather than concentrating on what I should be concentrating on, I was reading my Observer's Book of British Animals. That was the catalyst for everything I've done in the future. I worked for over 30 years in conservation, with a large part in rehabilitating and raising badgers. This gave me a real connection to them. And when we retired here to North Wales, I was delighted to find we were surrounded by badger clans. I wanted to find out more about them, so I set up a number of camera traps in the area. It's magic. You could be sat at a badger set for 5 years, and yet you won't achieve the full aspect of that clan's life. Whereas with a trail camera, it misses nothing. We've got 3 main clans. The no-tail clan, because the alpha boar at the time appeared not to have a tail. It was just a very stubby tail. And we've got the Dickens clan. The alpha boar had whiskers, rather like Dickens. They are all great, but when it comes to entertainment, there is one that really delivers. Now we're at the Nutter clan set. Why the Nutter clan? Because basically they're a load of nutters. Charging around like idiots. They're just full of the joy of life. When the cubs are old enough to actually start playing, it's infectious. The adults join in, as though they can't resist it. When you actually see it on trail camera, it looks a much bigger area than it actually is. You don't realise it's relatively small. But this is where all the action happens. This tends to be the focal point for socialising and this sort of thing. It's taught me so much more about the life within a clan. It's a constant joy to me, and I have accumulated an awful lot of knowledge about the species, but I'm also adding to that knowledge all the time. Occasionally you do get a chamber or a tunnel will collapse, which creates a vertical hole. And a badger would jump into it and then constantly jump up and down like a jack-in-the-box. To watch it is extremely amusing. Hopefully, my footage can show people what badgers are really like, the softer side of the animal. Badgers are blamed for predating on sheep and lambs. My footage can contradict that theory. On the Nutter clan set, there's always sheep lying around the set. You've got ewes with lambs, etc. Believe you me, the sheep are the boss. Come April, tiny cubs are making the first emergence above ground. Wobbly legs and what have you, and they're following mum around, and some of the other clan members fuss over them. I'm going to be observing those cubs from first emergence from the set all the way through to being yearlings and beyond. To follow them all the way through to adulthood is amazing. The most exciting thing for me is every single night we have 3 clans of badgers passing through the garden. Badger watching, it's the thrill of anticipation. Dusk is falling and darkness is drawing in. And then you see this black and white face. That white stripe is so distinctive, it may as well be luminous. Then the badger starts to relax. Then a second one appears. The vast majority of wildlife fears human beings, with every reason to do so. But to have an animal that is totally wild, trusts you to the degree where they can be around your feet, I'd still get the same thrill now as I did the very first time I ever did it. It'd be a very sad world without them.